Alexa, play Fred Hammond's Let the Praise Begin. Hey YouTube world, it's me Evelyn coming to you with real pensive energy, real introspective. You know how they say on YouTube, get your beverage, all right, get your water if you're trying to stay hydrated, your tea, what have you. It's, the holidays, get your coquito, whatever you want, okay? Because it's gonna be a long one. We have a year's worth of life to catch up on. 2018, huh? She done. For me, 2018 was the year of switching it up, putting my thing down, flip it and reverse it. You feel me? Going out on a limb. And the important thing is I survived. Amen. I never made a 2018 goals video because the end of last year, the end of 2017, was such a tumultuous time for me mentally. I was just rolling in the deep. I felt like that meme, that puppy that's sitting at the table with the fire around him talking about everything fine, I'm fine, everything's fine. And thusly, my only real, tangible, it gotta happen ASAP goal was to quit my job. And I'm an adult. That's not really something you just post on the internet. So, you have to practice some couth. Oh, is that a new word? I've seen that word anyway. So let's start there. In November 2017, I put in my little 2 weeks notice. I was the director of video strategy at a company called Texture Media. I worked there full time for 5 years. And before that, I was an intern, I was freelance, I was part-time. So I'd been there well over 5 years, in total. So that being said, it was all I knew career-wise. It was my first full-time job out of college. I did not feel comfortable essentially riding out the rest of my 20s there. And when it gets to the point where you already know you're gonna regret giving someone time that has not happened yet, it's time to go. It's time to resign because that's not fair to anybody. So I quit. I got to work on some really dope projects, do amazing things. I learned a lot. I met people who I intend on keeping in my life. We friends. They can't get rid of me. But at the same time, it's close the chapter. It's closed. All right, move on. Next life event. I went to Kenya for the first time in over a decade. The last time I had been there, I was 14, 15 years old. Making the decision to go back to Kenya, where my family is from, was a big decision for me. And I'm so glad that I got to usher in 2018 that way. I vlogged it, it took me a year to post the vlogs, but I vlogged it. So click the things that were floating in the atmosphere, or check the video description box to watch those vlogs. All right, when I got back from Kenya, I had all of 2 days to recover before hopping on a plane to London for the Creators for Change Summit. So in 2017, I was the first part of the first cohort of YouTube's Creators for Change Fellowship. They gave us a grant, you know what I'm saying? We got a little budget to make videos that foster change and what have you in our communities. So they flew us all to London so that we could see each other again, so all the fellows could connect again, because we're all over the world and most of them are not from the United States. We could interact with Google and YouTube employees, listen to, the movers and shakers of the world talk about creating change. DeRay was there in his blue Patagonia vest, and I was actually invited to speak up on the stage, you know what I'm saying? Give them a little stand and deliver. And when I landed in London, I had my rehearsal. They told me that I was going on after Malala. Malala, shot in the face by the Taliban, Malala. Nobel Peace Prize winner, Malala. Education for girls around the world, Malala. That Malala? Okay, I can do that. I can go on after her. She's a very quiet force, so everyone was deep in their feelings listening to her speak. And so when I went on, it was my job to kind of get the mood high again, have people feeling good. And I think I did that. So I'm very grateful for that experience. So I knew I would be exhausted from all that international travel, so I extended my stay in London with the sole purpose of sleeping in the Airbnb. That was the only thing on my agenda. I did have a meetup with Belief in Fatherhood, and so I was glad I was able to get out of bed and meet my internet cousins from across the pond. Pip pip cheerio! Life event, what are we on, number 4? And it is only like February. So remember how I quit my job, all right? So now I am purposefully unemployed. That also meant that I needed to reduce my monthly bills so that my savings would last me even longer. I wanted it to be a solid gap year. And the big way I did that is I moved out of my apartment. I moved out of my apartment and in with my friends. They are married and have a house because they're grown-ups or whatever. And they so graciously allowed me to rent a room. This their room. I loved that apartment, you know, it was my first apartment. I lived there since 2012 and it was now 2018, so. And yeah, we had some issues like mandatory valet trash and that one time somebody jacked my license plates and my hubcaps, but all in all, that was a big chapter of my life that I was finna close. I can still be sentimental. I realized that I was a very routine person, like most of us are, like the majority of the world is on a routine. And to go from that life to quitting my job, going to Kenya, moving, it was a lot of change, but I will say that I never once felt like I was making the wrong decision. Travel. You know, I gave myself a year-long PTO. So I traveled. Some of it was for internet stuff. Some of it was just hanging out with friends. Nigeria, New York, camping here in Texas, Sequoia National Park, Long Beach, Atlanta, Chicago, Cleveland, San Francisco, Big Sur, New Orleans, DC. I don't have TSA pre-check, but I get it now. I get it now. I'm gonna get it. And this year I've tried to post all my travels on my Instagram stories, so follow me on there. And thank you to all my internet cousins who messaged me with suggestions on where to eat, where to go, museums, taking selfies with me when you see me out in these streets. I met a couple people in the airport. I was looking busted, you know what I'm saying? But we thank God for grace. I also promised myself in 2018 that I would go to more museums. Art was something that was really lacking in my life, and it's something that's very important to me. So imagine working in a creative job but feeling creatively uninspired or creatively like unintelligent even. So I told myself I would take this time off and go to museums, and I did. You know, I felt more cultured, more worldly, you feel me? Family stuff. 2018 I met my cousin's new baby and his face is delicious. My aunt and uncle left the U.S. permanently for the motherland, you know, and I'm grateful for the time that I got to spend with them while they were here. And they gone, you know, they gone. Dwayne's little sister got married. I went to my first NBA game. I know. I just had never gone. It was never something I got to do in my childhood. But y'all already know, if you really know me, you know I'm a San Antonio Spurs fan to the day I die. My college roommate had her bachelorette party. My childhood best friend's baby turned 1. Baby Harper turned 2. And I turned 28, you know? So we out here alive. Amen? So we talked about like traveling and going to more museums, you know, being creatively inspired. Another goal that I kind of kept tucked in my little heart pocket, you feel me, because it wasn't as important as quitting my job, was to do more public speaking. I was a speaker at YouTube Black last year in 2017. I spoke at Creators for Change after MALALA. And in March, here in Austin is South by Southwest. As someone who lives in Austin, we're always like dreading South by. It can be annoying, but at the same time, it's like, you want to hobnob, all right? I was invited to speak at a panel for QuirkCon, a People of Color Nerds event, and the event was sponsored by Patreon, and that was dope. I got to speak at a Shea Moisture situation. What I was speaking about, I don't know. I don't even detangle my hair on a regular basis. Why do you think I'll be wearing these for fashion? And then I had the opportunity to interview Lovey of Awesomely Lovey for an official South by Southwest showcase. All those experiences taught me how to, develop my thoughts and articulate them, how to read a crowd, throw in a joke on the spot, how to have someone trust me to interview them on stage in front of a lot of people. So when VidCon reached out to me and invited me to be a featured creator and potentially also give a keynote, Alexa, play When Jesus Say Yes, Nobody Can Say No. VidCon never notified me that they uploaded my speech. I found that out while I was editing. Click through and watch that video in full. Give it a like, comment, and make it look like I got friends. My little remote that clicks through, my speech, the words that I'm reading, wasn't working initially, and I freaked out loud for about 2 seconds. Words? Okay. Hello, my name is Evelyn. But all in all, I think I did a good job. When I made an Instagram post talking about I would like to do more public speaking and maybe I'll do a keynote, I had no idea that I would just a couple months later. And this year at YouTube Black, I was invited back on stage to interview Steve Pamone, the COO and president of Parkwood Entertainment, the CEO being Beyonce. Wow. Because first of all, I had met him already because Parkwood invited some of us from the internets to go to Cleveland for the On the Run 2 tour. Speaking of speaking, booking my first official college speaking gig at Kenyon College. And there's a vlog about that. So I'm out here currently living my dreams. So I also got to screen my video for people who feel behind in life at a couple events out and about in Austin. Which is an amazing feeling because as someone who's on the internet, I rarely get to see people enjoy my work. I can read comments. I can meet you in real life and you can tell me, but it's just a different experience to be in the same room while people laugh at a joke you made on purpose. Like it worked. So yeah, 2018 was a transformative year for me. I learned new things about myself, my relationships. I said yes to so many experiences and people that I can confidently look back at 2018 and say this was a year that changed the course of my life. I stand by each and every decision I made. Zero regrets. And I feel like that video of Snoop getting his star on the Walk of Fame, talking about shout out to me.
I want to thank me.
I like to thank me for believing in me. Still don't have health insurance though, but we will get to that in our 2019 goals video, so stay tuned for that. In the comments below, let me know, how was your year? If you feel comfortable sharing, I'd love to know how you thrived or how you survived, amen, because you are still here and I would like to keep it that way. So thanks so much for watching. Happy New Year, and I will see you on the internet somewhere. Bye. Alexa, play Our God is an Awesome God. Play Great is Thy Faithfulness.